swinging today. So the agenda, everybody got a view of it on the Google Drive? Pull it up if you want, otherwise, are we good with the agenda as is? Any modifications?
Did you modify
Okay.
it? I
The
actually,
modifications after it's been modified 2 minutes ago.
I haven't looked at that, but did we want to add that out, the overpass thing?
Sure, we can discuss it.
Yeah, at the end, if we have time to re-add the overpass outreach thing, if there's time. And where did you add your item?
And this is treasurer or?
Both of us. I have no job. Where did you add your thing?
Very first one.
First, okay.
Okay, any other things about the agenda?
Yes. Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Go ahead.
Okay. We had old business that wasn't on there. Mailing new Libertarians had been tabled from last time, so that should be on old business. I think in the minutes, we'll know what's that.
Okay.
Brochures and literature committee was something that needed to be revisited from the last minutes.
Hold on, it's not being cooperative. All right, so Mailing Libertarians, next one is,
What did I say? Brochures. Oh, brochures and literature, and I would include, well, okay, well, no, brochures and literature. Door hanging, we've left a lot of stuff hanging from last meeting.
well, did you review it in the last meeting?
Oh,
Or is it just on the agenda?
No, this wasn't from the agenda, these were things we talked about
That
that
we pushed those.
we left hanging, that there's still
They
a
had
lot
been
of,
addressed at the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
These
there's
are
old business. And I wanted to follow up on national registrations and something that Mike Spalding said he would do. And did we need to follow up on Chili Fest?
No,
Okay.
that's,
That's it?
We're waiting on Pueblo
Okay.
for that.
4 things?
Mhm.
Okay.
Don't blame me, those were in the last minutes.
and then I just needed to add to the new business, motion pertaining to the legislative barbecue. Those are my report.
You can move that with your report.
Can I?
Mhm.
Yeah, yep. Any others to the agenda?
Because I'll need something on my report.
Okay, so need a motion to approve the agenda with the changes?
so moved.
Second. Any objections? Okay. Guests, so we'll go around the room. We'll start over here with Jake, 2 minutes each if you want. Dave? Kim?
Kevin Bill Brunson.
Cole Bronson? It was nice to meet you if I haven't met you before.
Michelle. My name's Diana. I just joined the Libertarian Party, and I'm hoping to support Barry Johnson. So I'm here just to find out how I can help and spread that message. A little bit informative for the president.
You see this guy right here in the purple shirt?
I am not the right guy.
You're the guy you want to hear from the Johnson.
I'm going to interrupt just a
That's true,
second.
actually.
I'm going to remind everybody that our microphone is clear down here, so please speak up so that everything's recorded.
Have you been through the initiation yet?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
No, that's the speaker.
You do not want to go through the meeting.
Yeah, we'll find something better.
Okay, are you for the Libertarian Party or the?
No.
Oh, yeah, you are. I see your shirt. You got your hat on and your glasses. It's helpful. I'm not on the Take
I'm
a,
here just to sign.
oh, he's here to sign your paper.
In fact, I know a couple of you guys are.
Ken Weigel.
I knew that. Kevin.
Ken.
Ken, our chair's not in fun form today.
All right, Mr. King.
So I'm here for many reasons, but I will listen, and if I may speak later.
You just need to get my attention,
Okay.
and before you actually speak, just make sure.
Because I don't see your agenda, I don't know when the spot is.
Hey, Ken, as far as
Now is the public comment.
membership directors, are you seeking appointment from the board?
Yeah, I didn't know until today, just asking earlier, is Jeff still a membership director? Sorry, I've been out of touch, because I really wanted to work with him. So being that if the spot is open, I will put my name into the hat.
We add that to the agenda. We need 2/3.
The spot is open. In order to add it to the agenda, we need a 2/3 vote to even add to the agenda to discuss it.
Motion to add membership director nominations.
So we got a motion to add in a second. We need a 2/3 vote. Is there any objection? Okay, so we will add it, new business, I guess.
Is David Gallant still seeking, or?
I asked
Steve
him
Gallant,
to-
excuse me.
Steve, I asked him to attend.
Yeah, Steve is out of town today because he had to do this lecture for him also online. He can make it.
Did he say he wanted it?
We talked about it.
Because we should just like give it.
We had to have a motion to amend the agenda again for 2/3.
Now, because it's nominations right now, so we can nominate as many people as we wanted to.
It's called,
He wants to do the other chair, other director.
Regions.
Yeah.
it's called voluntold. I would like to voluntold him.
Nobody can.
He's indicated interest.
That doesn't count.
Okay, so we're digressing here sideways, so we either make the motion or we move on.
Without him here, I don't feel comfortable.
All right, very good. Nathan?
I have nothing.
Unless Ken, you had more. Was that all you had, or?
That's all I have.
Wait. Nathan?
I don't have anything to say.
Okay.
No, no.
Did you have anything to add to this meeting, or you just here to sign? It's in public comments right now, so.
It's in public comments.
Yes, you get 2 minutes if you want to yell at the board for anything.
I say, God bless you all. I think that we couldn't do this without any of you, and I appreciate all of you, absolutely everything that you do. I come in just to sign, but it takes more than a signature, and you guys give more than a signature. Thank you.
And your name is?
Joseph Thompson, THOMPSON. First voted Libertarian in 1976, first registered Libertarian in 1983.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think I got all the public comments. All right, so we will now move to approve the minutes from last month.
I have corrections.
We have corrections for your minutes.
Mhm.
You need a second?
Those last week.
You need a second to catch up?
No, it's fine, go ahead. Give me the corrections.
Under David Aiken, where it says Aiken asked that we post draft minutes, Karen said no. That sounds awful authoritarian. Karen said no.
Oh, wouldn't that be just like you?
That was not being authoritarian this time. It was Karen said no pursuant to our standing rules. I didn't just go, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Karen.
And let me see, I think I had something else. My memory could just be wrong here, but I thought with the Gary Johnson yard signs that we had approved some funds for that.
No, we just talked about it. We approved funds
For
for
everything else, but not this.
We didn't have.
We talked about $500, because I
Yeah,
have $500 in
It
my
wasn't
head.
finalized whether it said Libertarian on it or not, so we weren't gonna
Right, so we
approve
gotta
it
wait.
until we were sure.
Okay, so we'll be talking about that. Okay, then that's my only change.
All right, got it.
All right, so a motion to approve the minutes of the changes?
So moved.
Second.
Second, anybody object? Very good. All right, so now we're going to go to the officer reports, and we will start with the chair. One Most of mine is already out there. If you read it, great. If you didn't, go read it. The only thing that I would point out here, and I think it's on the agenda if I remember correctly, it is. So when we get to the Johnson Fund, we'll cover it in more detail, but they can go up to 5,000 now. They can go up to 10,000 once we do the FEC filing, which we're pretty much there. We've got just a few more days, hopefully, before it's finalized. That anything over the 5,000, between the 5,000 and 10, we, as the board, I'm going to ask you to consider this. I'm giving you time now. Request that we get half the amount over 5,000. So we'd get 20 if they for donations in Colorado. So anything over 5 to 10, if they donate 5,000 more up to the 10, we would get half that amount, 2,500, for us to do the FEC. Why not? Right?
Can I comment on that?
No.
It's coming up on the agenda.
Well, it's coming up on the agenda, and then we'll consider maybe outside comment, maybe, since you have some
I have
insight.
no authority on the subject, so.
And then I talked with Krista Kiefer. We're going to go do some interviews with her on the ballot initiatives, which apparently there's a whole lot now. I thought there's only 5, but they stuck them all in. So I think we're up to 9 or something. Yep. So we're going to be talking about all those with her. So that is it for my chair report. So Vice Chair?
The only thing I have to add is a participation in Douglas County Fair. We were there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and had a pretty good success. We got a couple hundred, or well, maybe 100 contacts to add to the database. Maybe more. Didn't count them, but it was a pretty good staff.
Treasurer?
In addition to 3 pages or whatever, this is stuff that came up after Wednesday. I transferred $2,500 from PayPal to the Compass Bank. PayPal accessible balance is $663.34, plus $15 earmarked for Nation Builder, and thus accessible. Compass Bank accessible balance is $9,445.67, plus $485 earmarked for Nation Building. I mailed IRS Form 8822B, which is a business change of address to the IRS, on August 5th to establish the current treasurer as the responsible party in the eyes of the IRS. Without this status, the IRS will divulge nothing about LPCO account, such as the address they have on file, who the responsible party is, whether or not we've registered as a 547, what our nonprofit status is, if we're about to be audited, anything. It would talk to me. I reimbursed Karen Carlos $119.88 for the Hootsuite subscription. I reimbursed Marie Cochran $120 for the LNC outreach items. Becoming a participant in the Gary Johnson Victory Fund necessitates becoming an FEC filer. FEC requires us to have a separate bank checking account for all federal election activity that is reported to the FEC on a quarterly or monthly basis. As with our current checking account, Mike Spalding, Jay North, and John Gersman are to be signers for the new checking account. When registered to file with the FEC, upon election or appointing a new treasurer, we have 10 days to file a new FEC Form 1 designating the new treasurer. With the IRS, when the organization's responsible party, usually treasurer or chair, is changed, we have 60 days to file Form 8822B designating the new responsible party.
I had a question. Last month we had talked about maybe having a general idea of how many of the donations we got in the previous month. Am I just being, slow on the uptake? How much did we get in donations in the past month?
That's on, I don't know.
I didn't see that in the report.
Plus this.
Plus that, oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
What's that last month?
Well, I thought we were going to try to have a general figure each month
Oh,
of what we got
we
in.
can do that.
Okay,
Forgot I guess. Sorry.
no problem, next month, then. Or by email or whatever. I just like to have a general idea of what we're bringing in.
Okay,
Good idea.
oops, I closed the agenda. So next is, whoever's after treasurer, fundraising, which we don't have, so, campaigns.
Not really anything to add to my report. Last month, I was charged with reaching out to the candidates about canvassing. I got a whole 0 responses on that email that I sent out that I copied the board, so you all know that I sent it out. So not a single one, including myself as a candidate. So there was that. That's my report, though. The Johnson Well forms, we finally got those in. So now we are working on our electors form, which we have 4 people who are nominated as electors here. In talking with Jay, what we're going to do is any blank spots, we are going to fill those with board members who are willing to sign on as electors afterwards. That way we can file this week with the SOS and not put this off any longer. Deadline is September 9th. My contact at the SOS has recommended that we get it in as soon as possible, though, in case there are any errors or clarifications or anything like that. We have some time to go back and forth. So that's all I got for campaigns.
Outreach,
Nothing to add.
regions, do you want to cover something or skip it?
A lot of contacts coming through the works as far as regions go.
Our emails are blown up constantly, and trying to run 2 board positions is tough. I've had somebody from Eagle reach out to me this month, so hopefully next month, if that pans out, we'll have somebody there. Our Dolores contact is,
Watch what you're saying to them. Make sure that
they understand. That's Josh. Just make sure that he understands kind of what his role is. He's very passionate, but I don't think he fully understands the role, despite having talked to myself and Karen a couple of times about what that is. So remember that we don't have regional representatives, so everybody has to report directly to me or another board member. So if somebody reaches out to you from one of those regions and they have a question about what they're supposed to be doing as contact, please let them know or send them to me. Or if we get another regions director, to that person, that way they can help them out and get them on the right path. But we did grow, I think, I want to say it was 4% over. We got 2 more counties in this last month, contacts that we didn't have, and Kim was one of those. So thank you, Kim. And that's about it.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if maybe a motion would be in order. Steve Gallant had indicated interest in the Regents position, but he's not here. I'm wondering if the board could agree to vote by email if we reach him before next month. We're coming up on a very busy, I don't want to wait till the next board meeting if it's a position he wants. If we could agree to vote on that, because that's not really non-substantive, but we could agree.
That's not going to be particularly in my report, but I will second that kind of thought process. If Jay, if we all agree that that would be something we want to do by email, I would certainly support taking that off my plate sooner rather than later.
So I don't think we need to make an official board motion to vote by email, but if everybody on the board's in agreement to not push it to a board meeting, when the motion comes out via email, then we can vote.
So you'll reach out to him?
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Okay.
Does anybody here object to having it by email? All right, so as long as we don't disagree on the email, then we'll be good.
And
I
for
mean,
reference, Steve did do regions a long time ago, so he would step right in.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, membership, don't have a position for that, so communication.
That's not the order.
It is today. Would you like to
Okay.
pass and wait?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Of course you would.
I would entertain any questions about my report, but I actually am going to have something to add to this. I spoke with a gentleman about who's done a lot of work with very effective targeted Facebook ads. We had somewhat limited success in our last targeted Facebook ads, but he's got a winning strategy, for instance, to target specifically to gun groups or target specifically to LGBT groups. And he's had it down to getting likes or interactions at like 10, 20 cents a piece, which is way lower than we had before. Coming into this busy season, he agreed to mentor me on this and show me some of his tricks. I would like to move to ask the board to once again approve a social media advertising budget. I would ask for $70 for the next 3 months through election to see how targeting some groups might work.
$70 per month.
Yeah, we did it for a year.
$70 per month or $70 for the 3 months?
No, $70 per month. It's about $2 a day, a little bit over $2 a day.
$220 total.
Yes, for
I
the,
think that budget is technically still in place from what I'm secure for me.
since we suspended it, I don't think it is.
I'll second that motion.
So we got a second.
And this is for social media
Advertising.
advertising.
Is there any discussion? Is there any objection? All right, it's passed. Anything else?
And I don't really think there's nothing else really necessarily to add to my report. I would suggest that everyone take a look at the really helpful web content summary that David has provided me. You are the hero of our website. He's completely, it's awesome. So if there's any questions for myself, or I would say even to David about the website, I think we can entertain them now.
I like it, especially the minutes and the notes on there, that with that page, that's great.
I looked for a phone number on there and I hunted for a while before I found the phone number that we're transitioning away from on there.
So we need a better contact page?
Yeah, contact
Okay,
can have that.
we'll work on it.
I don't know what you're doing, but I get a phone call twice a day maybe on that.
On the old number?
But maybe it even needs to be on our front page. I'll work
No,
on it.
I looked on the website and find it. It's
finding
out,
it.
it's out there on all the press releases and other things.
Yeah.
so.
No, I'll
And
work-
Secretary of State has.
So,
I'll
yeah,
work with
the front
David
page,
on
I can leave one phone call.
Have a new phone?
Okay.
I just asked him.
We do, but we're not really transitioning to it, so.
I've called a couple. All right, you're out of your 2 minutes, so
I'm done.
very good. All right, records.
Okay. In addition to my lengthy report, I had a couple items. First, I heard Karen on NPR. That was amazing. So let's say NPR here on the board. They get to be big time. Thanks for doing it. And then John, your report, you had the annual spending and stuff, and it showed that we spent everything we raised so far this year. Okay. I guess that's what we're supposed to do, right? I was kind of shocked. That's 19 grand out the door. And speaking of that, so when I went through and did the minutes, there's so many proposals to spend money on this, spend money on that. So in the minutes, as Karen probably noticed when she read them, at the bottom, I put a summary of everything that passed. And it came out to $1,500 worth of things that passed during the meeting. So I'm sure you're aware of that, John, and are working that into the budget when we have these meetings and pass all this stuff. Okay. Because, you know, those expenses aren't coming up now, but they will be hitting us later.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that. Then what else do we have? I'll do that. Okay. I was just asked to throw this out. All the libraries have distribution tables for political literature. Last season, I and a couple other guys went and drove around and put literature at every library. So when we get those brochures that you're working on, et cetera, that's available again this year. So just let me know. And that gets it out to everybody. And then finally, what was it? Oh, Clint Jones contacted me, and he had some advice for doing the mailing. I know you had talked about starting up the mailing to new members. So he had a list of information, so whoever's going to do that, I will send that on to them. Is that you, Karen?
Oh, God, no.
Okay, it's our new membership director. Is that it?
Be the membership
Where's
director.
In the minutes, that would please, God, no.
God,
Yes.
Is that K-N-O-W?
Hey, Mike, your 2 minutes is up.
All right.
Okay, LMC report.
Okay, I have a lengthy lengthy report, but a lot of it is from the July 17th meeting. If anyone had any questions about it, I would add to it, or if there's any concerns that anyone would like me to bring up with the LNC. My major point of concern is that there still is not yet a contract with the Johnson campaign. And I don't really know why. So that is something to just be on the lookout for. And I've been pushing for a September meeting because I think it's kind of silly we're not meeting again until December after election, when this is one of the most important times for the party. And the vacant at-large seat, unfortunately, from the death of Dr. Feldman was filled. And those were the major events. If anyone here, also there is a LNC regional newsletter that I do. So if you're not on that list and you want to be, please let me know, because I keep everyone updated that way. And if anyone had any questions or concerns.
And they resolved Gary Johnson as far as signs with the word Libertarian on it, or is anything?
No,
I mean,
from
this
what
election's gonna be over pretty soon.
from the LNC authorized the chair to negotiate the contract, so the details are pretty much being kept there, and other details would be an executive session that I couldn't reveal. But public information right now is there's no further word other than there is no contract yet at this point, and it's expected any day. But I am kind of a pain in the next spot. I just keep asking, contract yet, and so far no contract.
So what contract do they do?
They are asking, the Johnson campaign is asking the LNC to sign the joint fundraising committee
Oh,
agreement.
that's the.
No, that's one of them.
Your 2 minutes are up.
I would like to move to extend by 2 minutes.
We have a motion. I guess that's a motion. Second, any objection? Do you really want to talk that long?
Yes.
All right, you got another 2 minutes.
But the LNC has its own contract that they would like as far as exchanging contacts, putting the word Libertarian or whatever other things that they may want. So basically, it's kind of a, we'll sign this for you if you sign it. It's a negotiating thing that's on right now. So neither things are signed. The LNC has not signed the JFC, and the other contract, whatever terms are on there that aren't public, hasn't been signed yet.
Well, that was in 2 minutes.
Oh, well, while I'm at it,
Wait,
while I'm at it, I've been assigned to a Libertarian advisory committee to try to help advise with messaging.
I would use weapons, actually, not messaging. They're going too slow. All right, thanks.
We done now?
Yes.
Okay. Standing committee report, technology committee. State convention committee, Nathan, you're on that committee.
I am. Nothing's happened.
All right. Something needs to happen soon.
Maybe you should talk to the state convention committee chair.
I'll get with them.
Who's the state
You can
convention
harass it
chair?
too.
Arnett.
Bill Arnett.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's a discussion of the goal being at the state convention is like there's different frames of thought being like it's like national, like LPEC style, like trying to get big speakers in their discussion. And then there's this discussion of having it totally focused on local, nonpartisan races that we have in 2017, because it will be the year where, mayors and mayors and city council positions and water boards and things like that. Yeah, all of those positions are up, and the focus being prepping people to run for those positions, getting them to run. They usually know what they need to do, having them being able to run effective campaigns, and pretty much getting people hyped to run for local office. So that's what we decided I would be on. There's a discussion of we'll get a big name there, big names. I think most people would be.
So I'm going to tag on that. If you guys want to join the state convention committee, let me know, because we'll get you in contact to help do that. There's like 4 people.
I don't even know who's on it.
3 or 4 people. I can't remember who I've. And there's 4 people on the state convention committee. So adding more ideas and help would be, Bill would help. Would be happy with that.
Yeah. We've done lots of our stuff.
Okay, so, special orders, or special committee reports, we don't have any. Oh,
What? Yeah, what?
hold on.
Sunshine?
You
Oh
are
my
correct. There
Lord.
are 2 committee reports I don't have on here today. They're on here.
We
Try
suck.
that again.
Don't be calling me sunshine.
Okay, Cupcake.
Squishy bear.
I gotta add these, so I remember to do them next month.
How big is squishy?
I think it was just squishy.
Okay, so Constitution and Bylaws Committee?
So we had our first meeting, making some headway on last year's recommendations from 2016. Should hopefully have those wrapped up at our next meeting, which is the 13th, right before platform committee, unless the things going on is, we don't know. Okay, so, yeah, 13th is when we should finish up with the old ones and start moving into new recommendations. So we're moving along from there, and then we'll meet every 4 weeks. 13th on is the plan. So,
I have a question.
yes.
Is it possible, and I'd say this also to the platform committee chair, I'm listening, that if we could make, somehow maybe even on the Colorado community page, to make it a point to give notices to the community, so in case a party member wants to attend to observe.
Yeah, yeah, what I'll do is I will utilize the Libertarian Party of Colorado Facebook page to create that, if that's okay. And I will advertise that way.
Get with Marie on, she handles events.
Okay, don't just do it.
Oh, well, you can, but just let Marie
Okay.
know.
Yeah, okay. Cool, yeah, no, I can do that, certainly. I think that's a good idea.
Okay,
That's all I've got.
platform?
We have our meeting Saturday after bylaws and constitution, and that will be the first meeting. And the plans are not even necessarily to delve into specific proposals at that time, but to try to see on what page everyone's at. Platform can be a bit volatile, so I want everyone to be friends before they start fighting.
Alrighty then.
Trying to figure out
You have wishful thinking. There are no special orders, so we'll go into general orders from last meeting. Mailing Libertarians.
So legislative director doesn't get to
No.
do a, yeah.
Oh. Ouch. Mike, how did I skip right over you?
When I objected and said I was out of order, you had skipped.
I mean, I skipped him like 2 times before that. All right, legislative director, speak up next
I
time.
don't have anything of that to add to my report. Other than I do have a motion. I did get the information through my business for the State Fair Legislative Barbecue on August 26th. The cost is $65 per person. My motion to the board is that any board member that would like to attend with me, the state party cover the funds for that person to attend at $65 a piece. That would be my motion.
A second?
Second.
I have a second. Are there any discussion?
I'd like to move to amend the motion.
All right.
I would like to cap that, because if the whole board went, that would be extraordinarily expensive, and cap it at 4 board members. First come, first serve.
I second the amendment.
A second on the amendment. Is there any discussion on the amendment?
It's August 26th, 5 p.m. in the evening. Does that 4 include myself as legislative director?
3 plus the legislative director.
So yes, it does.
All right, so then no objection to the amendment? I mean, sorry, no discussion on the amendment? Is there any objection to the amendment? All right, no objection to the amendment. Discussion on the original amendment?
Main motion.
Whatever.
Well,
The
that's
original
now
main
become
motion?
the main motion.
Right. We're not discussing the amendment.
I got it. I got you. The main motion?
The main motion is now, that's now the main motion.
It is. Is there any discussion on the new main motion? All right, any objection to the motion? All right, it passes. 65. Or 4 people plus 4.
3 plus.
3 plus Mike. That doesn't stop anybody else from going?
I need to have the names no later than Monday of next week. And
26 at 5, you said?
Yeah, 26th at 5 p.m. is the reception. Dinner starts at 6.
And it's in Pueblo.
It's in Pueblo.
Ooh, you almost have it.
Yeah, Pueblo. Long ways to drive for that.
Yeah, but it gives you, it's all about access.
When do you
One of
need to
the
go
other
up?
times where you can get up close and personal with the governor's cabinet and your state legislators and your federal delegation.
Mike, when did you need to know by?
I didn't know. I have to have the names turned into the Chamber of Commerce no later than the 19th, but I'd like to start getting them compiled. And I am going to open it up to any of our candidates that would like to attend. They just need to get their money to me. If they buy their ticket on their own, it's twice. It's double $65.
I'll let you know by the end of this week, I think.
So,
I have to check and see what, otherwise.
yeah, I'm going to put it on the candidates page on Facebook. And then I know there's some other party members that attend every year. I'm going to open it to them as well. So they just have to pay on their own.
Your time's up. I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds to say yes. I'm going to tell you that.
What?
Huh?
I'm giving you 30 seconds right now to get to tell Mike you're going or not.
You're going, right?
I'm going.
So that leaves 2.
Yes.
I'm waiting to see if other people want to go because I went last year. If we don't fill the spots, I would like to go, but I would like to give other people opportunity.
I'm off, but I'm in Greeley, so.
That's kind of right.
It's a long trip.
Yeah, so I'll let you know by the end of the week. I'll let the board know by the end of the week.
I had a wicked hangover from the last one.
Okay, so 30 seconds is up for that.
Hang on a minute.
Can I skip anybody else on the board?
Right? No.
All right. Point of order question. Mailing Libertarian, is that the same thing as bulk mailing in county?
It's related.
Can we tie them together? Is that a bad thing?
Not the first stuff.
It is a separate thing.
All right, fine. All right, mailing Libertarians. Continuing our discussion from last month.
So I'll pick it up. What we talked about last month, guys,
was sending out to people who are newly registered, newly showing interest, new volunteers, new donors, all of that welcome packets like we used to do, where the state sheriff may sign something, and each of us was tasked at that meeting to think about what we could possibly contribute to a welcome packet, and if that's something we wanted to do. So that's to bring everybody back up to speed. That's where we're at.
Okay, and I have some info on that. Said that the best thing to do is to, this is Clint, is to either do the mailing and then a follow-up call. And the follow-up call is to ask the volunteer, donate, whatever, get something out of the mailing. And he also suggested the mailing include a bumper sticker, something, some kind of freebie, maybe not a shirt, but some kind of freebie to kind of make them feel good before you call them. And ask to, put them in the database, sign them up for newsletter, volunteer position, donate money. So if you want to do it, it costs Clint, what was it, $1? $1 a mailing, I think he used to do. Yeah.
Around that.
But he did things like reuse old envelopes by putting stickers on them and other things that might not have looked professional. So it might cost us a little bit more.
I think at this point, it's a matter of manpower but we might have a membership director.
Yeah, that's in my wheelhouse.
So, can we move this to after the membership director?
After we
discussion?
lasso somebody, yes.
Which would be after the membership director
Yes.
discussion.
But why do you think it's manpower? You're just stuffing envelopes and sticking labels on.
And do you have time to do that?
We should do it as part of the board meeting.
I can tell you, I have absolutely 0 time to go to the bathroom.
right.
Or they'll provide pizza.
What Karen brings up, though, that was the legitimate concern. Last time, it wasn't so much about cost, although that was some of it. It wasn't so much about content. It was, do we have the manpower to stuff these envelopes, link the envelopes, or use an
And do the labels. It's not a trivial task. It really is.
And plus, yeah, making the labels, you gotta be able to use Nation Builder,
Correct.
pull out new stuff, whatever.
It's not a trivial task.
So I'm gonna make the motion.
No, no.
Yeah, I don't think you should let Ken speak.
I mean, you're discussing something that is clearly under the realm of the membership director, and it would be very much at the top of my list to gather those that can contribute.
I see that. Agreed. Who's gonna make the motion to move this after the
I
membership
move
director?
to move this
Thank
agenda
you.
item.
We have the motion now. The second. Got the second. Any objection? All right, it's after the membership director
With official
discussion.
privilege, can we please acknowledge and greet, this is the board of CUT, Citizens for
Colorado Community Taxpayers.
We're going out that door.
Bye.
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 Thanks, guys.
Bye, Greg. Take care.
Good stuff.
All right, so now we're on to brochures and literature.
I thought it
That's
was
us.
membership.
I hope
Yeah.
we're-
No, we're moving mailing literature.
Mailing's back.
Oh,
Not
not membership
membership.
forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Membership forward.
Bro,
Yeah.
we didn't do that. We're on brochures and literature.
Okay, brochure.
Go, brochures and literature.
Okay, so I think we pretty much have something together. that-
I actually have
Do you have
some
a
to show
copy?
the
Okay.
board. Because we did put in our last agenda that it would need to be approved by the board, 1 second, by email, but I have it here. We have several things, so we could pass this around. My printer printed it wrong, so it will be right side up, but this is the brochure we're thinking of.
That was your printer's fault?
Yes, it was, but we had recruited a design committee. Well, it's pretty much one Brandon has just, and here's something I'd like to pass around. This is a bumper sticker he's thinking of us creating, and I'd like to pass this around. This will be a business card size for our change of registration online things to pass out at outreach.
So Brandon, I thought it was the other guy that did this.
No, Randon did that. Randon's done it all.
He just has a different Facebook name there.
Yes, he's.
I checked one. All right.
Isn't that a great bumper
Keep
sticker?
passing around.
Keep going, guys. Moving, moving. Come on, Glenn.
So I guess we want approval on the brochure, and then we already approved money to get it done. We just needed to approve the design.
Thumbs up on that.
I'd like to get approval to get some of these bumper stickers. And Jay's already, that's just replenishing outreach.
That's so disappointing.
Technically,
I love that.
so,
It used to say Puerto Rico sold separately.
so according to our bylaws though, we don't need to get a board approval on these specifically.
Well, we said in last meeting.
That was
we
in
did.
the emotion.
Okay, I missed that
Should
part.
we just have the site registration?
We're having them go to our site. No, that directs them. We want them to land on the LP
Then
Colorado.
they might give us money
I
too.
like it.
We want them to know we have an attractive website. And
Change this upside down.
All right. Bumper stickers too.
Isn't that awesome? I stole the saying from Massachusetts, but then Randon came up with everything else.
And
We really
they
did
can
like
read
it.
the support libertarians from a distance, and then when they're walking by your car, they can see
Yeah.
the other cool stuff.
And the Puerto Rico sold separately was funny, but we figured that much.
Too much detail.
All right, so the motion is,
To approve that brochure.
Second.
any objection or
I haven't seen
discussion?
the brochure yet. I'm gonna get it.
Well, hurry up.
Well,
The
young
brochure's
days.
still over here.
Can you pass along, Dave, so the board members can see it, so we can move it?
Does this work as a, in fact, pass as a board member?
It's a QR code.
But it works at an angle like that?
Well, you
We'll
just have
test
to
it.
turn your camera.
Oh, always gotta be.
It'll work in an
That
angle.
actually is a pretty good point with that turning your
I don't
camera
think you have to turn your camera.
is extra effort no, you're doing a QR code because you want it to be convenient, and I have to go.
And are you on the
enable
board
this-
and recognize it?
Yeah,
No, I haven't. No one's thinking about it.
So-
Turns out
To
it's
address the
like-
QR code question though, I mean, there are other options besides QR that we can use if that is truly a problem and concern.
Test it, I don't think you have to turn your camera. Okay, so we've got any objections?
To the brochure, yes.
The brochure and the.
Nobody's gonna read all this. This is wonderful and really erudite and too much words. I don't know what to do about it, but
When we pass stuff out at outreach, they are reading it.
are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
That's actually
You know,
not that much.
We have the vision
Compared to some of
pamphlet.
the older stuff?
The
No.
vision pamphlet is way too long. I love it. It's got all kinds of, nobody reads it. But that one that shows Democrat, Republican, Libertarian in the middle, everybody looks at that.
We got that. We like to have the variety. We've had plenty of people ask us for more
More
details.
detail? Okay. All right, no objection.
This won't be the only one. He's gonna be doing rat cards that are much simpler.
Oh, like all those ones that used to have on pollution and poverty? and all that?
Exactly. We're working on a whole line of things.
You're gonna pass these around the nation then?
What, we're gonna make them available on our website.
Did it work?
Yep.
Oh, and that was at an angle, no problem. Okay, cool. Nice.
So whoever doesn't work, update your phone. Anyway, any other discussion? Any objection to the brochures and pamphlets that we've seen?
Okay.
So the motion passes.
Overtime.
Okay, we're done with that. Door hangers.
This was part of the campaign's survey with the candidates.
But now we have somebody who's willing to do a heat map for us, which might help us too.
Right.
So my input on that, as far as the old business portion goes, we talked about last time, coming up with both a design for door hangers, which we feel we got a pretty good handle on a design out there, and then see where and who we can target, neighborhoods, that sort of thing. I was tasked with emailing out the candidates. Nobody responded, including myself, as to where these types of things would have success. So that's where we're at. But we do have the GIS contact who is interested in doing a heat map. So I would say we're not ready to pull the trigger yay or nay on this until we see, would be my thoughts, until we see kind of what he wants to do with June Creamery.
Yeah, well, and it'll kind of depend on what we do with the SOS data, which looks like, is that on the agenda?
It's not.
It's not. Do we want to, because I got a free one, do we want to move that to an email vote?
Yes, if it's not on old business for next meeting, I would move that we vote on it either by email or at next board meeting.
Next board meeting's too late.
Yeah, I mean, we're already in
Then-
August, so I don't.
Then, yeah, I mean, if there's no objection from the board when we're casting out the ballot, then I think that doing it by email may be our best way to settle this.
Okay, does anybody have a problem with email on the door hangers, deciding costs, whatever? Okay, so next item is national registrations.
Mike, did you add that to meetup?
I did not.
So that's just pretty much a reminder on that, and if there was anything else we could do, we're within 10 of Washington. So, and Washington now realized we're within 10 of the one above us, but then Washington is only like under 5 of us, and they've realized, so they're gunning for us. So we need to get up in the top 10 here.
But wait, how many do we have to get?
We need to gain at least 10 more, but Washington's under 5 right below us, so they're looking to hopscotch.
You should raffle off.
For registered regular donators, right?
For $25 a year national members.
Let's do a
So if
fun-
anyone here is not
Found
a
one.
national member,
We got
the
three.
pride of
Get a car.
Colorado is on the line.
Paying member,
You
right?
get a car.
You do get a card with a chicken.
Is it a paying member or is it just member?
No, paying
No,
member,
there's only
$25 a
pay-
year bylaw sustaining member.
You can pay more.
You can pay
Right.
more,
But you have to be 25 in order to be on the list.
yes,
The counter list.
yes. Or $10 a month, they count that out.
15.
Oh, is it 15?
So if you're gonna pay 50, just pay 2, one for you and one for somebody else. And
Yes.
that way, get more.
And you get 2 chickens.
So they can be surprised when it shows up in the mail. They're like, I'm a libertarian now.
Do we have it in our newsletter or,
I've been
Facebook and
including
stuff
it in my
like
mailers, but
okay?
that's a good idea. I'm gonna get Brandon to do a graphic for, put on Facebook.
Make sure you
I'll
put
get it on
Washington
the-
on there because I've been having arguments with Washington.
What, saying kick Washington's ass on
Something,
there?
yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Because I've been silent with Washington.
Spitfire.
A little bit, yeah, pretty much. All right, anything else on national registrations? No motions, nothing? Okay, we are now to new business. membership director, that position is empty. And we've been advertising for at least a month, I think, for it. Ken,
Why didn't I hear about
glad
it?
you showed up. I don't know, it's
I
been
don't
in
know
our
why you didn't.
emails and our Facebook, so are you on those lists?
What kids meant to show up tonight.
So, you want to put your hat in the ring for it?
Sure, if I need a nomination, I would request Mike of the board members.
I would be honored to nominate Ken for membership director. He's worked with the Libertarian Party for a long time and will do a great job. I second that.
All right, do we have any discussion, any questions you want to ask Ken?
I would like to give Ken a point of information.
What's that? Well,
Just be aware that in bylaws and constitution, one of the amendments that's being considered is that membership be responsible for the newsletter. So I just wanted you to be aware
Don't
of
we have
that.
a communications director?
There is a way-
it's in the bylaws, not for communications director, but it's, the bylaws committee is talking about moving it to the membership.
And guess what?
So-
Communications director is on the bylaw.
So if you want to influence that decision, you need to be aware.
Well, my point of information would be, I need very specifically what the roles and bylaws surrounding the membership position, because I may go out of bounds sometimes.
Well, it's in the bylaws, the membership position is. I mean, it's in there very, pretty specific. It's not like you must do exactly this, but it's pretty close to
What?
Bookmark, don't you?
your job description.
Do I have a bookmark? No. But I was gonna, yes, I was gonna say, it's in there that you have to pay the communications director $100 a month, as long as that's okay with you, that's good.
I might point out that 3 times since 2006, when I joined the party, I have max donated to the state party.
Awesome, very good. So,
And in 2007, I restarted the Arapahoe affiliate
Would you like me to read the description?
later.
Okay.
Sight unseen.
yeah, pretty much. Does anybody have any other questions or discussion about Ken being the membership director?
This is something that you do want. We didn't put you on the spot, and you go back into a corner or anything like that, right?
Oh, no, I've been trying to work with the last 2 membership directors on initiatives specific to business.
Okay.
So that is something I finally can introduce. For
Okay.
example, since 2007, I really desired a Libertarian business directory, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Where
talked
do we
about
go
it.
drink, for example?
I like your thoughts.
If I don't know how much time I have to
This
speak,
being,
because I can definitely use it at any
Yeah,
time.
free.
I'm a talker and a storyteller.
Okay.
But tomorrow night, I have an open house at my business. There are 5 other libertarians showing up that are not involved in the party at all. But for example, Travis French, he's a chef. Maxine Hendry and Peggy Sue Dunval. They're 2 sommeliers that have just started a business called The Whole Shebang. Their idea is to present to small groups, specifically women and LGBT groups, both an introduction to wine, what it's all about, and pot. Here's how you learn about it, here's the strains, what we do, and here's how you go into a store and purchase it. They are awesome. Yeah, you guys know Karen Rosarn?
Yes, it
Realtor.
is.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes, it is.
She'll be there too. It's actually Karen and I that are wanting to start the Libertarian Business Group. I don't know what else you want to know, but I'm gonna shut up.
That's good, because we just hit our 4 minutes.
Call the question.
Second.
So our call question's been called, but the question, okay. we
Yeah,
don't have a
the
motion.
nomination, he was, the nomination was.
Oh, you did. Okay, there's been a motion, a second, so
I second the nomination.
And he seconded my calling it, so
I
it's
know.
time to vote.
So it's done.
I know. Why.
Call it done. Stick a fork in it.
Is there any objection to him being?
All right, is there any objection to the calling of the question? Because you have to have a 2/3 vote to call the question. Great, I'm glad that went by. Now, is there any objection to Ken Weil being the membership director of the board? Great, you're in, there you go. Okay, now we're down back to mailing libertarians, since it's followed right in the membership director's job. By the way, you can talk now as part of the board without me recognizing you. I know I've slipped up on a few of you.
So my first question would be, do we have a database of all members currently registered in the state?
Yes.
Possibly, yes.
It's a wonderful, wonderful database.
You have a video training of it already? Or
We
no?
do, and I'll have to get you the training.
It's,
Well,
It's called Nation Builder. It's extremely,
once you get into it, it's actually surprisingly user friendly. It's a little intimidating at first, but it's an entire database. Yeah.
With the mailing new libertarians, because we've had a brand new person, I would suggest we get them set up on email. I think a lot of this can be dealt with by email. Otherwise, we're going to spend a half an hour talking about.
You want to move mailing libertarians to email?
I do. I would like, he needs to do the Nation Builder training and get acclimated to the new position. This is going to be something under his responsibility that I think talking about it right now, it's premature. That we could start discussing it in email, and if something needs to go to a vote or the next meeting, we could do that.
So are you moving?
I'm moving to transfer this to email? Is that so?
Second. Sounds like a good motion to me. Any discussion or objection on transferring this discussion to email? Great.
Just that not everybody will be able to participate depending on what kind of reception. Just saying.
If you just quit going on cruises, you'll be fine.
sounds like
Don't
personal.
feel sorry
it's
for
not
you,
gonna
Michael.
work,
Do
but-
not feel sorry for you.
Point of personal privilege.
Sure.
Just so you know, professionally, I am a business development expert and financial advisor. And what I do comes free to new libertarians, that is for sure.
Okay.
Very busy.
Where are we on now? Campaign resolution. So I would like the board to listen to this resolution that I think that the state party needs to put out into the world, everybody to understand where the Libertarian Party stands. So I'm going to read it to you. Hopefully you'll be able to get it. I didn't have time to print it. So it says, whereas libertarians affirm that self-defense is an inherent human right, whereas the platforms of the National Libertarian Party and the Libertarian Party of Colorado opposes all laws at any level of government restricting, registering, or monitoring ownership, manufacture, or transfer of firearms or ammunition. Whereas the platforms of the National Party and the Libertarian Party of Colorado affirm the right of due process and deny the legitimacy of victimless crimes. Whereas the government has steadily encroached upon these rights by illegitimately regulating and restricting access for firearms and ammunition, and may further seek to deprive people who have been convicted of no crime of their inherent right to full self-defense by denying their civil and inherent rights to obtain firearms and ammunition. Be it resolved, the Libertarian Party of Colorado opposes any policy which would deny access to any firearms or ammunition to any person simply for being placed on any government watch or no-fly list, and reaffirms its call to repeal and oppose any existing or proposed firearm and ammunition regulations. So that's the resolution. That is to go out there because there's been a lot of talk, especially, well, there's been a lot of talk about placing anybody who is on the no-fly list or terrorist watch list or anything to not allow them to purchase firearms.
Especially libertarians.
Especially libertarians. There's been a ton of that talk, and I think we need to get this out there as a state party, not just the chair mentioning it, but the state party saying we stand for the right to self-defense
And due process.
and due process.
How do we get that out there though?
We're going to make the resolution.
Right.
If we pass it, we'll pass it to the LNC for them to, we'll put it on notice to the LNC that the state party has done this. And then we're going to put it out as press release.
A press release and maybe on our Facebook.
And on our Facebook page,
Yeah,
and
we'll
on our
advertise
webpage is
it.
a resolution.
We're going to advertise it everywhere in Colorado as much as we possibly can with Facebook or whatever.
And this would help with my targeted, when I'm going to do some of that targeted advertising to gun rights groups, and that would be a hook.
I move to approve the resolution.
I second.
We're moving to second. Is there any discussion?
Can I get a copy of that?
Yes.
some point? Okay.
Any objection? Okay, so I will pass it to the LNC tonight, or tomorrow morning, whichever. I'll get it there as soon as I can. And then we'll send out a press release.
And I'll send you the text.
Somebody said.
Okay, so the next one is social media advertising and seminar.
Oh, I did the advertising. I forgot. I'm going to be planning in 2 to 3 weeks. This isn't a motion. I should have done this in my report. I'm sorry. This is kind of informal. I'm going to be doing a social media seminar that I'll invite all of our county reps to, any of the candidates to, and actually I'm going to throw it out to anyone in the nation that wants to come. I'll put it to my region, but I'm going to specifically for Colorado, but I don't care who shows up. It'll be a Citrix go-to meeting on best practices on how to grow your social media page and not have me screen. So
Could you record that?
I probably could, yes. And I've got to update the manual we have for it too, but this is something I'm planning on doing possibly in 2 to 3 weeks. So it's on my radar, and I just wanted to make you guys aware of it.
I think if you can record it and structure it in such a way, I know your time is very limited, but if you can structure it almost as a class, I don't know what your plans were, being able to share that and with new contacts as they come up, I think that would be huge. And even candidates as we go into next year's elections, local candidates don't know how to do Facebook for the most part. They really, truly don't. So I would challenge you to do that. I'm glad you're doing it. And if you can't, you can't. But
no, I intended to. It's going to follow the structure of the social media handbook that was put out by National that I need to update because I've learned new things since then. So it's going to follow that. So if they have the handbook, then they'll have the person explaining more why and maybe some interaction with people with questions. So yeah, that's what I intended upon doing.
Beautiful. I love it.
Is there a motion in there?
No, it was. I should have did this with my report.
Thank you. Okay, yard signs.
Oh God.
Hey, what's right here? Oh my goodness. Somehow we made progress so fast and we got these printed up and they already say.
And they say Libertarian on
them. Libertarian's almost as big as Gary Johnson. It's bigger than Gary Johnson.
Did these come out of your house?
Yes.
Yay.
Oh,
we have some.
Stands here. I mean, we are so set here. So there's 10 of them.
This is going to be a very big topic. But so since last meeting, I've been trying to work on getting yard signs for us, or at least more specifics on them. Nathan's been in the loop with this conversation. He knows my extreme frustration with this conversation. I wanted to jump off a building and slit my throat and shoot myself in the head on the way down. But we're getting there. The campaign representative is setting up the store any day now. We're looking at approximately $1 or $1.10, right?
I think we're going to be without stands. I think we're going to be at 60 cents a sign
plus shipping,
and not more than 20 cents per
so
one
under
shipping.
we're looking at
under $1.
Under $1 per sign.
Right.
Haven't gotten a proof yet to make sure that it says Libertarian
Can I speak to
on
that
it.
really fast?
Yes.
Yeah. So when before the signs are ordered,
Let's just say yes.
Jay, can I speak to that?
Yes, you can.
Okay, before the signs are ordered, and I would really ask you to stop bugging our store person about it, because she's about to jump off a cliff too.
And shoot herself and slit her throat.
I mean, she might do more than that. She's asking me to. So the signs before they're ordered, we're moving the store over to the Victory Fund. And before they're ordered, there'll be a nice picture of the signs that say, here's what you're gonna get. And at that point, it'll be very obvious whether the words Libertarian is actually there, like they have communicated repeatedly that it will be there with the ones that just have Gary Johnson on them. The Johnson Well signs won't have Libertarians, we couldn't fit it in on them, but the Gary Johnson signs will have Libertarian on them, and if they and that can be confirmed by looking at the little picture. So before you click order, we can confirm that, as opposed to needing a graphic in advance for that.
Well, here, let me go tell you why I wanted the graphic in advance, because I found the answers quite unsatisfactory. I do not think there has been a definite commitment that the word's going to be on there. It's like I'm pulling teeth.
So don't buy it.
Well, it's not set up in the store, but yet. But there's precious time going by here. If it's not going to be on there, I got the graphics from National because I already anticipated a potential problem where if we got to start shopping to have them printed elsewhere, we'd rather know that now rather than later. So that's why I want to see a proof.
So I think that there's the Washington and the Michigan Libertarian parties both included in their
Request.
Motions that approve the spending, and they had to have Libertarian on them as
Okay.
well. So I think that Joanne has communicated to me that there will be Libertarian on the sign. I think she has said it in the trend. I said it in our text multiple times.
It's gone back and forth between whether it be just the chicken.
So,
Well,
side question.
I think that it's going to have Libertarian on there, and that's my interpretation of everything that's been said so far.
Okay, so I have $500 from a donor right here that will buy $500 worth of signs if they say Gary Johnson and Libertarian on it.
Yeah, so it's just it's a store thing, and
Yeah.
there's multiple moving parts to it in terms of FEC compliance, and there was a discussion in the campaign about is this going to be through the Victory Fund or the campaign fund, and what do those disclaimers need to be, and who can we take money from, and can we do a bulk store?
Motion.
It was a mess. So pretty much there's nothing new from last
So
month.
my question is there a deadline that we can set that says if they don't have it?
Point of order.
Yes, sir.
I supersede you. We're over 4 minutes.
Thank you for telling us 4 minutes.
Move
Okay,
to
so we
extend.
need
I
some
already
motion.
tried the motion.
You didn't tell me the time was up, sorry. We need a motion to extend.
Move to extend by 5 minutes.
Second.
Second, any objection? All right, it's passed. Do you have a deadline that you have to, but if there's a time, if they haven't resolved it by a certain time, we're gonna buy our own signs?
No, there's something, if the board wants to do that or not. From what I understand, the store should be set up this week.
It should be set up, yeah, that's my understanding, and the boards can set a deadline, but the deadline isn't gonna shift when the store is gonna be set
I don't
up. So
care.
the goal of
We're
the
gonna-
deadline is to put pressure on the campaign.
No, it isn't.
No, the deadline is so we
Okay.
can order signs.
No, it's
don't
just
care.
that we could decide what we
Okay.
want to do.
We don't want to be in September deciding to order signs.
No, that makes sense.
So we
One
need,
week is what you said with the
I-
next week.
I think so. I mean, I haven't been reading the chat with that much detail. After I see that Libertarian will be included, I stop. I kind of check out in the chat.
So- End of the month?
I would say let's, motion to vote by email within 2 weeks and see where we're at based on whether they're in the store, if we need to order our own.
I would second
okay, I'd like to amend my motion
Okay.
that in 2 weeks, we spent $500, whether it's at the Gary Johnson campaign or whether it's on our own. $500 no matter which.
I withdraw my motion and second your
And
motion.
I have one.
What?
I have an issue.
Okay, what's your issue? You did the
Okay,
motion.
two things got conflated here. The $500 from the donor is one thing,
I
and,
don't care about the 500, I'm just putting 500.
okay, that's not this 500, it's 500 from the party, okay, I'm fine.
And we already allocated the 500.
No, we didn't, that was the confusion.
No, we talked about 500, we didn't allocate it, so that's why I brought up 500.
Okay, so yes,
It has nothing to do with
I'm
this.
good with that.
Oh, this is separate.
Okay, I wanted to make sure we understood that.
So the motion stands.
Yes,
Okay, we have a second. Is there any other discussion about the motion? Any objection to the motion? To the motion? Okay, that passes. So in 2 weeks, we'll follow up, but if it hasn't been done, we'll order our own.
but now we have the second issue with this 500. That's part of
Part
Gary
of the
Johnson.
We don't,
Yeah, what is?
This is a
It is
different
it's part of the same subject.
Okay.
A donor gave us this money and they wanted 100-yard signs that they were gonna distribute themselves, but they wanted them as soon as possible. Even if the Gary Johnson store was set up today, it would be 3 weeks from the day it's set up. So this is another time frame in here before we get the signs. That was.
Why do you think it's that long?
No, that's what the store told me. So this is.
We can't drop ship the signs, so we have to get them
So
printed.
now you understand my urgency even a bit more, because from the time we buy it, it's 3 weeks out.
That's ridiculous.
This donor who
Well,
gave
it's
us
not from the time
500,
we buy it, it's from the time when the signs actually get printed, because the signs will go up in the store probably after they're ordered, so it's from the
Okay.
time that the campaign orders the signs, the fastest we can get them to people is 3
3
weeks.
weeks.
So that could be that could be a county printing, that could be 3 weeks from today or tomorrow or the next day,
Right.
not
It's-
whenever the order gets in.
Right, well, so it's a minimum of 3 weeks from this
Today,
moment, a
yeah.
minimum. So this isn't one donor, but I'm referring to it as a donor, but it's actually a bunch of people who gave $20, but I'm just calling it a donor. It's a group of donors, coordinated by one person. So they want signs as soon as possible. So we have a decision then to make with this money that's been entrusted to us, whether we're going to wait to see and tell these people that it will be 3 weeks, or I've spoken to LP.org, Wes and Robert up at headquarters. They have signs for $4 a piece, including shipping, including stands. That's their bulk rate, in bundles of 35 each. I want to see signs get out there sooner than later. This group of donors want signs. My recommendation is we buy 100 signs now using this donor money. We'll have to add like $50 and get 100 signs into the hands of this group of dedicated people who already gave money and want to get the signs out now, rather than 3 weeks from now.
So the motion is $550 now, using 500 of this plus 50 more,
Plus up to $50 more
or to buy signs.
to buy 100
Now.
signs right to tomorrow. The place to, I already spoke to them about the soonest they could get it to us, and they're shipping as fast as they get them in. It won't be 3 weeks.
Motion's
Is
550,
that
ordering
a
signs
motion?
tomorrow.
That is a motion.
Is there a second?
And a second, is there any discussion or objection?
These people, these donors, I understand they may want to remain anonymous, but are they the dedicated type that are going to go out there and do this, or are they going to sit on these signs for 3 weeks anyway?
They're paying for it, Richard. We can only assume that they're good to their word.
Right, this is basically their money.
They can use it to fix windows or whatever, we don't care.
Yeah,
Maybe they could have gone to the site and bought them themselves, so let them destroy it for us. It's just giving us an opportunity.
Yeah, their concern is they want the signs out now. Said, here's 25 donations, $20 a piece, $500.
$19.99.
Yes.
So,
Lots of pennies.
any other discussions, or was that just a discussion or?
Do we have a design for the signs?
It's the one that looks like that bumper sticker.
Okay.
Any other discussion or objection to the motion? Discussion first.
Where do these people intend to canvass?
Deborah Crawford.
Okay. I got nothing.
Any other discussions? Okay, so we're gonna vote. Any objections? All right, no objections, then it passes. So we need $50 more for the,
Who is going to order these? And
I didn't think of that. That wasn't part of the motion.
no, this is just logistics now.
You two know who it is, you've got too much on your plate.
I would say wait makes the most logical
Yeah, and I have
sense.
another contact on sign pricing and timing. I should hear back tomorrow where we stand.
Well, our motion was to buy this from the LP.org,
Yeah.
so that's a rough, okay, but the question is,
It didn't say buy
Somebody's
LP, it said buy 100 signs, what the motion said.
no, the motion said from LP.org.
The way I read it.
Oh, okay.
No.
Doesn't really matter. What matters is the way you're gonna take care of it.
Okay,
How's that?
To be done now.
Yeah. Okay, is that it for yard signs? Because I think we've gone over our 8 minutes.
This is the
Okay.
LP store.
We are now
and
to,
I've got those graphics if we ended up finding something.
we're down to brochures and bumper stickers.
We already did that.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
It was an old business.
Whatever.
All
Oh,
right.
brochures and literature.
Yeah, we already did that, Olden.
Twice. All right, bulk mailing account.
Do we want one?
I say
Yes.
no, but
Okay.
this is just based on previous experience. I personally spent a lot of time setting it up. John, you'll enjoy it. It's real good technical stuff, everything. The people at the post office at Highlands Ranch will help you out. And we spent a lot of time setting it up. It took them 3 months before we were active. And then when we went to use it, there are so many rules about how many pieces you had to have per 3-digit
Per
zip code.
KUA.
Yes, yeah, you got, it's 3-digit zip code, so 803 has to have so many pieces. You can't just have 3 in that area, or we might only have 3.
200 apiece.
How many?
200.
200. And we couldn't make, and some of our candidates tried to do it, and they found it was cheaper just to put stamps on it. Because if you don't have enough, you don't get, now, if you do have enough, it's 3 cents for a first-class piece, which is just awesome.
Standard.
But how much is it a year?
It's $180 a year, well, it was when I did it, it's $180 a year. And we blew that $180 2 years in advance because we never used it and we stopped doing it.
So for 2 years, we were not able to hit the numbers and see any value out of it.
And every time we checked it, it was cheaper just to put stamps, so we really wasted it. If we're gonna do a real serious giant bulk mailing, it makes sense, but it's just, it sounds good and it doesn't get used.
The newsletters would help us get there if we did a paper newsletter.
Which are very expensive, but yeah.
Well, we didn't have the database capability we have now, though. Do we? Did we then?
We guys can do it.
So-
So.
I would recommend to table this and wait for our membership director to do a little analysis on our database using our GIS contact to see if we can get a good discount, because our GIS contact has mapping capabilities. Membership, you can get the data out of there. You have to do the training, or I'll have to show you either way. We get it to this guy. He can run through it, see if it will actually save us money. But let's move that. I'm moving this to next month following that. We know that information.
Move to table or whole business for.
What he said.
Second.
All right, any discussion or objection?
Speaking of business for next month, starting next month, there will be a happy hour after the state board meeting.
There usually
Oh, there
is
is.
already.
There is.
We're away, this is Libertarians. We
I
are
was here
our,
at the board meeting right after the convention and nothing after the meeting.
I was at
home, I'm sorry. I called it now.
well, no, we, on this end, we drank.
We started that process.
Where'd you guys go?
Usually just down around the corner.
Tavern.
Okay,
way
Tavern.
next topic, thank you, is the Gary Johnson Victory Fund. I worded this wrong, or no, the treasurer worded this wrong. We are part of the Gary Johnson Victory Fund already, where that's the $5,000. The part that John really meant to have on there, correct me if I'm wrong, is the FEC filing part of the Gary Johnson Victory Fund, right?
No, I didn't realize we already were.
We are holding off on,
finishing that.
We signed it
but
already.
we've already signed
Okay.
that part to be part of the fund. The
Yeah,
part
we already
that came
discussed it.
through the email was the addition to having the law firm do the FEC filings for us for the whole 2 months. And that's when we just decided to screw it through our emails to John's just gonna do it. So that's the FEC part of it. And the other part that I would recommend is they still would need to file with us or through us to the FEC to get that additional 5,000. I would recommend that we ask them for half of that donation or some percentage. I'm starting with half because, damn it, I didn't get the half the 5,000 the first time, so now we're on the next half. So now we're down to 2,500. So that's my proposal, but any discussion? I know you have something, but I'm waiting for the board to ask, any of the board say, anybody on the board have any?
Oh,
I mean,
Lord,
my
I,
thoughts would be, we're talking 2 months here.
Uh-huh.
John, I think you can handle filing FEC for 2 months. I think. I don't see why we should entangle ourselves in this.
And
I
the
really
signing of
don't.
the document?
Yeah.
We've already decided
No,
that.
I mean, I know we're part of the Victory Fund, but I mean, this next part where they will do the FEC filing
We're not
for us and all that.
We've already gone
Okay,
past that.
so what is the question?
They have to file through John
Uh-huh.
for that extra, well, it's not the extra 5,000, but to get that extra 5,000, they have to make sure John reports it through his FEC filing.
Okay.
I want half that, of that additional 5,000.
So it would take it 5 to 10.
Right.
And then
If we don't do
ask for
FEC,
half of that.
Half of the second
half of the
five.
second 5.
They're not gonna go for it, but okay.
So we ask for it. We set the amount that we want. If they don't want to go for it, then they don't fundraise.
Okay.
If it's 2,000, if it's $100, let's set an amount.
That's fine.
And then
That's fine.
they could pay us to
I
do this.
like the gumption.
Yes,
Let's do it.
thank you. Karen was,
Yeah, you're not gonna like it.
I don't care.
I am not in favor of that. I think we weren't raising before, that this is our contribution of what we can give to the campaign, It's not money, but it's given them our limits, and we weren't using them. It's no skin off our back. It's our candidates. I don't believe in trying to get money out of our candidates like this.
John?
I need enlightenment. What is this $5,000 that you're talking about?
So the first 5,000, once you join the fund, the donor can go up to $5,000.
What donor?
Any donor.
Any donor.
Any donor.
And then what?
And then if you have an FEC filing in the state, they can go up to 10,000. So instead of a 5,000 limit, they go to 10,000.
Okay. This is per donor.
Per
I'd
donor.
like to talk to whoever does that. Well, you have to wait.
This is because it's a PAC.
It's a victory fund. Is it a PAC?
It's a PAC.
It is PAC. Okay. Yeah, that's where you're Mike.
So I would like to ask that we not vote for this. It's a cool idea, but I don't want to have anything else getting in the way, any other agreements assigned. This process is too slow as it is.
We're not signing the document already. That's already been decided.
No, but the next proposal, if we get 2,500 of the second 5,000, I don't want to bother with that. Well, let them raise whatever they can. We've got a couple months left. This is a unique opportunity for libertarians to get lots of national exposure. Things are way too slow already. I don't want to say anything.
I think I'm with Mike on that.
Okay. 1 second. Any other board members?
Okay.
All right, Nathan, I'll let you.
I can
I'll
tell
let
you
you
that
spiel now.
I've brought that up before in terms of there are state parties that are not willing to sign into the JFC and saying, if we give them a cut, do you think they would sign on? And I was immediately shut down and told that there was no way that we were going to give state parties that just wasn't going to happen. And that was with the goal of incentivizing getting them on and offering something like 10 or 20%. So I can tell you that the 50% is going to get shut down, and any percent of it will get shot down. I can't say that absolutely, but I can say that with my experience, it's not going to happen.
Let's do it.
Move to call.
Let's do it.
Did my motion get a second? I don't remember.
Sure, second. Let's
All
do it. I want to vote.
So to clarify the motion, before we do the call, right?
Yes.
Is that the proposal is that we require 2,500 of the 5,000 or 50% of the above 5,000 in order to file for the FEC. Okay.
Second.
That's the second. That's motion and a second. Now we have a call. Is there any objection to the call? We need a two-thirds vote for the call to pass. Is there?
You already did your call.
Okay, that's in the wrong order. I meant to do discussion, but whatever. There's no discussion call. Now we're on to the motion.
Now we're voting.
Now we're voting. There's obvious objection to the motion, so we will do roll call. Vice Chair?
No.
Treasurer?
No.
Fundraising? No, there is one. Are you keeping track, Mike? Because
I am.
Okay, good. Campaigns?
Yes.
Outreach?
No.
Regions doesn't exist. Legislative?
No.
Membership?
Nope.
Communications?
No.
Records?
Wait, the communication said yes?
No.
God, no.
Records?
Oh, no.
Chair? Yes. So the motion doesn't pass. The next motion would be to accept the FEC filings.
We have to have a motion for that. What are we doing?
We're gonna have to do the work, so we've got it.
I think you guys are kind of legally required to file with the FEC now.
Only up to 5,000. We're not required to do the extra 10,
I think it's hard.
extra
I
5.
don't think it's required to hop on with us.
Have you been recognized by the chair?
I have not been recognized. Chair, can you
He knows
recognize
who
me?
he is.
I will recognize Nathan.
He
My
behaves
understanding-
in committee like that too.
In the discussion of with the JFC lawyer, that due to the level that the Victory Fund is collecting, that the LPCO historically would not be legally required to file with the FEC because it means that it's below certain fundraising thresholds. But thanks to being a part of the Victory Fund now, once it's formally a part of the Victory Fund, they will meet those fundraising thresholds and will be legally required to file with FEC
At the 5,000 level.
at whatever level. So you guys, LPCO will have to legally file. It's kind of like how a presidential candidate can file, doesn't have to file with the FEC if they raise or spend less than $5,000. They can dodge that. The LPCO, I don't know what the threshold is, but I've been told that every single state party that joins the JFC will be forced to FEC file.
That word is very triggering.
Yeah.
Even
Even if it's $200 that we raise?
Well, I could, yeah,
So
well, no,
there's
it
no
doesn't matter what LPCO raises,
Because
because
it's
the
half.
JFC has already raised a ton of money and has received, multiple maximum contributions. We've blown out the.
Your state police have told me.
Okay, so clarifying with the board, do we need to do a motion
No.
to do the 10,000?
No.
I sat in on the presentation of the National Convention, and my understanding was one of the primary purposes of the Joint Finance Committee is that they can aggregate all of the states that are members and go after big money contributors to times the number of member states that are involved. So it's not necessarily Colorado fundraising this money, but they got a guy that's willing to invest up to $250,000. We can aggregate that with each of the states as laws at $10,000.
Right, we understand that part. We've
We've already signed.
already done that. That's understood.
And their lawyers would do all of the filings for us.
Yeah,
So they
no,
say.
that this is.
They're
beyond that.
not going to do the filings for us. We're gonna do it, but we're way past that part of the discussion. Now we're good.
But that
We're
just
moving.
kind of comes back to, I don't know how you get the $2,500 back if you've already.
We're not going to. We've already been voted that down. Okay, so the next one is Colorado elections and electors and filing with the SOS.
So have any other electors shown up? You're an elector, okay. So that means I need one from the board, that's it. That's mine.
I'm on there as an elector, by the way, and I haven't signed yet.
I signed.
Yeah, so Mike, I need two more then.
Because my name's already on there as an elector.
No,
It should be.
no, you're not on there.
Thanks
Are you
for-
one of the electors? Yeah, you are in the list that I got
But I'm glad you guys came all the way.
from you.
I'll double check.
Which is elected every presidential election.
So that's all I got on that is we'll finish that tonight. One of the electors asked me to hold off till Saturday. We're not going to do that. So the next thing I need is, Mike, do you have the Johnson Weld candidate acceptance forms? Or who has those?
From the post office box.
They did not come to the post office box. I had.
Somebody
Oh, yeah, I
said
did. I did, and I sent you a copy of it.
Do I need to call our ballot access guy?
Via email, a picture of.
No.
What form did I send you?
You didn't send me a.
You were thinking of the Castle Rock thing, you sent us a picture.
No, that was more recent.
I didn't
Wayne
get
has
any
that.
form from you. So
Yeah,
here,
there is a form I sent. I'll send it again.
so, but whatever those
But you
forms.
thanked me for it.
So we do have,
Yeah.
the campaign doesn't need to read it.
So here's the situation though. Those are notarized forms, so those need to be taken directly to the SOS. I can't do anything with a copy of those. So wherever those forms are, we need to take those to the SOS with this elector's form. That's what I need somebody to do.
See, maybe the only thing I got was the elector form.
Now, the elector form we're doing right now.
Okay, so you don't remember getting anything?
No.
Because I got a thank you from you, and you said you bring it to the board meeting.
Yeah, you told me that you received the candidate acceptance forms, but now you're saying you didn't.
I did receive a form.
You should have received one form from Johnson, one form from Weld, both notarized.
I got one form, it was not notarized. I don't know what it was on.
Do I need to get?
Can we call Chris for me, please?
Yeah. We'll get you.
Sorry, guys.
We'll get on there. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Can we double check the post office box?
Yeah.
What?
Can we double check the post office box?
I was just there today.
Okay.
In fact, I got another copy of Larimer County voters.
Who is paying for
Who is paying for this?
Whatever. So do we need to make sure we get this done and get it filed because we don't want to be hanging out, not on the ballot list.
So yeah, who is Denver based willing to take this to the SOS for me?
Because I can't from Fort Collins, everything going on right now, I cannot.
I'm Denver based, but what's the date? Because
We have to have it in by September 9th.
they need tomorrow morning. Okay, I'll be back.
Yeah. We have to have it in by September 9th, so there's.
But we don't want to wait till September 9th. We
I
want
will
to do
drive
it next
down there
week
and
or
Okay,
the week after.
So,
and Dave can do it, so we've got lots of people, so I just need to get the electric form to one of you guys, and then, so Dave, if you're willing to, since you're already here, I'll give you the electric form, but we need to make sure that you get the candidate acceptance forms as well.
Like these things.
I'm gonna be out of town for 5 or 6 days, but I'll be back next week.
You'll be back next week.
Yeah, I'll be back next week too.
I don't care who does it, guys.
Here's the thing, we're getting emails right now from people who are saying, hey, we went to the SOS website, Johnson and Weld aren't on the ballot. We know, it's because the campaign has been dragging their feet, but we gotta get them on there, and where when people are starting to notice, I wanna get them on there as soon as possible.
I think
Probably do a
people,
press
well,
release.
the reason I sent it this morning, because
Right,
questioning,
and you weren't the first one. You aren't the first
Right,
one.
yeah.
There's been a couple of people. So we need to do this as quick as possible. So next week is the soonest we can do it.
Who's gonna take it down?
I'll go with Dave.
Are you okay with that? When you do it, can you get a receipt just to make sure they pass it back saying we gave it to them?
If you can
Or
shoot
take a
me an email
picture of
too.
yourself with
Yeah.
them? I don't care how you do it, but
Yeah, if you,
proof that we gave it
if
to
you
them.
can shoot me an email when you've done it, I'll reach out to my SOS contact, confirm that he got it, and then there's no other issues, and we'll go from there.
Get a receipt anyway, just in case his SOS comes back and says he didn't have it.
Yeah.
We don't want any shenanigans happening. Okay, anything else for electors?
Richard, do we have Michael Stapleton, myself, do we need one more person?
I need a total of 9 people.
So, okay.
Mike
was
was
already an elector, so you're an added one, and then I need one other board member, doesn't matter who.
Should they be sent to the same place? Or should they be sent to a new address? The forms.
Do we want to send them to Dave's address?
Yeah, send him to Dave's address, he's gonna take it to
The SOS for us.
Okay, Chris, I have a new address for you.
Overnight, please.
Yeah, I'll text it to you.
overnight, we'll pay.
Okay, yeah,
We
we
don't
need
want-
like,
Don't pay.
Well, we need a week. We gotta-
okay, but it'll be overnighted. Okay,
When are you leaving? I'm leaving
okay, but
tomorrow.
it'll be a couple days before that.
Send me,
Probably.
Whatever.
the week tomorrow.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll let you follow the.
Anything else on electors?
No.
The address.
The next,
Start singing Let It Go.
the next thing is
Let it go.
change officer reports time limit to 5 minutes.
Is it okay if they're here in like 3 weeks?
No,
I
no,
was being sarcastic.
Oh my God.
They're gonna be here in a couple days.
They're gonna come with the yard
Wait.
sale. See if-
I need to bring my gavel.
Are they gonna send it in a format where he has to sign for it? Because if he's not gonna be there, then there's a chance of getting lost in post on this.
We don't have his address.
You know what, you two
I have
can go
right
out
here.
there and work this out. You two, you're not on the board, so you can go out there and work this out and discuss. it.
Actually, I'll just text Chris now.
We're now on the next agenda item, which is
Don't make him
change
sign for
officer reports time limit to 5 minutes.
Wait, what are we on?
Change officer reports time limit to 5 minutes. The reason being is a lot of these things that are a new business can be part of your report. So we're terrible at that, so I want to up it to 5 minutes and get this stuff up in your reports.
I would prefer that, especially during legislative session. I can go into a little bit more detail on what's going on.
Okay, so the motion is to have the officer reports as a standing rule, so we need 2/3 vote, to 5 minutes. All right, is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? Wayne did.
my only point of discussion is this is the exact opposite of what we were doing 6 months ago. Granted, that was before convention, but we were saying, try and put everything in your report, that way we can keep reports as small as possible, and we don't have to waste time during the meeting doing it. So, that's it, that's my point of discussion.
Now we're moving the waste of time and
To
new
the
business?
opposite.
No, to reports. Before we were doing 5-minute reports and doing new business. Where now I'm saying, do your reports with your 5 minutes and your new business in your report.
Yeah,
Before
not
we
reading
do
the
it, 2
report, we
minutes,
were reading the report.
Take your board privilege of doing new motions and put them in your report.
if it relates to you,
Correct.
job.
Yeah, right.
And, or if you're minding everyone else's business like I do, that will still remain in your business.
I mean, my concern then is 5 minutes long enough?
We'll move to.
I mean, we've talked, how many things have we talked about today that were related to communications that were 3 different new business items and 1 whole business item that we even had to extend time for on another one? Is 5 minutes enough, or why
I
don't
would
we
rather
do 10?
keep it at 5 minutes and then move to extending.
And the Gary Johnson signs would have still been a new business. That's the thing that got extended. That really wasn't communications. That was me taking on a responsibility I shouldn't have.
Fair enough.
So I'd say if the board member has a lot of motions that they need to do, they can ask for an extension before they even start. Say, I have a lot of motions, and I extend it to whatever. I think it'll shorten the meeting.
You were being grumpy.
Are there any objections to the motion?
I'm gonna move today. It's been a long day.
If there's any objections to the motion, we're gonna do it as roll call vote. Thank you.
There were no objections.
Are there any objections?
I'm not gonna object for you, Jay.
There were no objections.
All right, no objections, that passes, so we'll make it 5 minutes from now on. Okay, next one is money bomb idea.
Well, this is, there was something on another site where they had done fundraising. We don't have fundraising director right now, but we can set up Nation Builder to do like, hey, we're raising $1,000 and try to do like a 2-week campaign or something to motivate people to give towards a threshold. And I know we don't like saying it's for something, but that's always something to consider as well, to, while we're waiting to get a fundraising director, to maybe do something like that. I know Nebraska had just, they were doing smaller amounts, but they were like, gave a week to raise $500, and that kind of gets excitement within a certain period of
As long
time.
as we qualify that, we're raising it for this, but any additional funds.
Or we word it vaguely enough.
Yeah.
That it could be up to interpretation as to what have you. We're gonna raise it for outreach events such as da-da-da-da-da, but not necessarily those.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, I guess I was just asking for permission from the board to play around with that and maybe run a few and see how it goes.
As our new fundraising director.
Do we need to have?
Now that you're our new fundraising.
I know.
We don't need a motion for that. That can just be done.
Well,
Well, it's not really my job. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking for.
But the chair can delegate that to you as your job if you want.
I think
No,
that
it's
she has
part
to
of the
agree to
training.
that delegate, yeah.
You're not part of the board. That's the chair. The chair can.
okay, well, then my 2 cents here is that the communications director has enough on their plate and they don't need to be responsible for this, and I think it's better suited for the vice chair.
The vice chair does not know how to sign into Nation Builder and set up a
Thank
page.
How do you know this?
The vice chair will then just ask the communications director to do it.
The chair will delegate to the vice chair and the vice chair.
The vice chair will delegate to the communications.
Is there anybody who would be willing to take that job for Karen, including people who are not on the board, so that we don't wear Karen out?
We can always.
To create a website, or create a web page on our Nation Builder to do the money bomb part. You would do that? I think you would qualify for that.
Do you know how to do Nation Builder?
Probably not.
No, then that's not gonna,
But
I can probably figure it out.
it's not easy. And no, I'm serious.
Okay,
I
so
computer programmer.
I don't want to put this permanently in Karen's court, but why don't we, have Karen do 1 or 2 in the next month? You think that would be sufficient to get enough data to see if it's going to work, and then we can readdress it next meeting?
that'll work.
Because it's a matter of maybe talking with Andy Burns about setting up a page. He doesn't have a relationship with other people. He knows me.
Good with that. I just don't want to burn Karen out.
That's my thoughts too.
Seriously, I'm like.
Well, why don't you
trying
do part
to
Can we-
scratch and freaking notepad. I'm pretty sure that I can pick up Nation Builder fairly quickly.
Could we do partnership
And since
between
Ken
the
has
two?
to train as well. I mean, we
And
have
she's
to
the
tag along.
If you
Brookfield
want to do
contact
like
now,
a sister
so
training, I'm
she
not
could
good, I would be
learn
willing to watch that
Nation
stuff
Builder
too.
already.
I don't
We
know
get go
anything
there.
about that part
It'd be
yet.
beneficial for us to work
That's when
together.
you're paying. I think we give him a chance to jump in and help.
I think we need to give Kim a chance to jump in and help. She's volunteered. Maybe you could do something together for the first one. Would that
Okay,
be
let me-
something workable?
Okay, this is what I suggest, because you guys are trying to make things easier on me and you're making it 10 times
Yeah,
harder.
now she has to train something.
Right, it's no offense, but let me try one myself, because to try training another person to do something that I don't even know how to do yet, adding a supervisory role to me right now
Got
is not helping.
So 1 or 2 you will do,
Yes,
and then you will.
and then I will
pass.
gladly give it completely away.
You will pass. This is a will. This is a force. You will pass if you can.
Yes.
You saw the eyes dilate, right?
And that is a chair I can do, right? Don't
Yes.
disagree with me.
Yes, that is a chair you can do.
Okay. Are we done with the money bomb?
Yes, boom.
Okay, there doesn't need to be any motion on that one. Okay, the next one is position stands on initiatives. So I sent out a list today. I need to send out a new list, because they added 5 more to the list.
I've got it.
Yeah.
They haven't even, whether or not they're
We don't
actually
know if
making
they
on the
vote.
ballot,
Right.
but we do need to
So
prepare
that's the
to
last.
address them. So I would like, I know
They're in the
records
process
and
of
communications put this on here,
So,
but I'm gonna take it over.
separate.
I would like to set up a committee to do this, rather than rely on the board to do this. So, can we send out an email asking for committee members to help with this?
You're talking about like an email blast?
An email blast saying we want people to participate in the initiatives and ballot for the Libertarian Party to make that statement, those statements. Yes, Dave.
Are you going to do the analysis using the POS function on those?
I will, yes. Yes, that was I was gonna do that myself.
Right.
But once we do the committee, I think doing a quick training on how to do that and then let them use that spreadsheet. Yes. Are you gonna volunteer as part of the committee?
Sure.
I am.
So Mike will, and you're a sure or a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll get
Why do we
with
have
you
Mike
on the wording
share
of
the
what it is
committee?
we're looking for, though, because I'm slow about there, but I'll get with you.
I'll get with you, I'll tell you what you're.
Would you be okay with Mike chairing the committee since it's legislative related and he's volunteering as a board member and he can give us the reports in case Dave can't make it?
Well, I'm gonna be on the
Either one
committee
of us.
too, but, are you okay doing the chair?
It doesn't matter to me.
Let's see who volunteers first, because maybe there's someone better than Mike.
Oh, that was good. Oh, my God, that was cold hard.
Make sure you mark that one.
Oh.
in there.
Let me pull that nice.
He'll get his, don't worry.
Just go squishy.
Boozy bear.
Boozy bear.
Moving on. Is the overpass outreach?
Yes, this was, you saw somebody you said you saw somebody doing a sign like that?
Actually, I saw a sign, there was nobody there.
Mhm.
But the cops aren't tearing this down, so.
Yeah, that would be my only concern, is how do we? I guess
We were
I don't know
actually
if it comes down or not.
We were actually considering with volunteers, because that's what the,
Guys in California.
yeah, the guys in California,
Man.
yeah, they were getting volunteers out, up on overpasses and holding out signs during.
Having a person increases the viewership dramatically. It's
And
good.
it gets, we have volunteers who want to do something.
They all want to get arrested.
Their bikinis out there to do
They
it.
will get arrested.
They want to get arrested.
They don't.
So,
Yeah.
my recommendation, Cop Locker has moved to Denver,
It has, yeah.
is to request them to come film it.
Who?
Cop locker.
They'll film it. If somebody gets arrested, great advertisement. If nobody gets arrested, they wasted their time doing the film.
I don't think arresting is even on the table
It
here.
may or may not be, but if it is,
That's not the goal of this conversation.
if it happens, they'll be there to film. Or
If
they'll
it
be
happens
there to
because
slow
somebody's
down.
overcarrying on an overpass and holding up a libertarian sign and cop blockers there happen to catch it on video,
We can't, it's not, none of it's negative advertising. It'll all be.
So the
So it's just like an
logistics,
AR-15 for Maximum. Yeah.
the
Well, in that case,
logistics,
I'll do it.
Oh, yeah. It's open carry on an overpass.
Okay, Karen?
the logistics is, getting volunteers would be easy, but we need to buy a big sign.
Do we need to buy it or can we buy it on butcher paper?
Oh.
Are you
Butcher paper?
serious?
Oh,
I
you know,
have no
that looks
idea.
better.
No.
That looks
you
better.
need-
It looks
you have
more
a
like
sign.
not an organized thing.
Yeah, we really want the Libertarian Party advertising for Gary Johnson to look like not an organized thing. Do we really want
I
to
think
have
we already
butcher
got
paper?
that, yeah, okay. Well, Fast Signs will do it for $80 for a, what is it, 4 foot by 3 foot.
Is that big
Not
enough?
very big.
That's not
No,
big
not even
enough.
close. We need something like 4 foot by 20.
It's gotta be pretty big
Dang.
for an overpass, because you're reading it, you're driving. We don't want people crashing to try to read our tiny sign.
Or you have multiple people and multiple pieces of a sign.
No, but they still gotta be able
Multiple
to read it.
words. Like, a big sign says Gary
Yeah.
Johnson.
You're still
Libertarian.
big sign, but yeah, so
But college kids find a way to do this with bed sheets and spray paint.
But do we want to have a?
If we do a 1 word per sign type thing, I mean, we could knock this out for $5 and call it good.
Karen's argument is the look. Do we want to have the professional look or do we want the
Sports game.
grassroots look?
I think grassroots.
I do not think we want the James Weeks stripping on stage look, no.
And that's for that, is the grassroots look.
That's even further beyond grassroots.
We're not down for that level. Nobody's up there in the jockstrap. It's going to be a painted sign or
We want,
to buy a sign.
my thought would be that we want this to look kind of impromptu, that a bunch of friends came together and said, hey, let's go advertise Gary Johnson. Not that we put this much thought into it, we bought the sign, we're trying to advertise, I mean, it's baiting, it's.
Like when you try and master bedhead. You gotta get the bedhead look, so you buy that special.
Oh, I thought you
That's
said
right.
something else.
That's why I had to pause for a minute.
Somebody has turned red.
This went to a very strange.
I think what will have more of an effect on people, what will draw the eye more, is actually an impromptu looking sign. For some audiences, for other audiences, maybe not, but I
In a
think.
sense, I agree because I know some of the county affiliates in Texas and other locations are doing chalk to walk.
Mhm.
They're doing it with sidewalk chalk.
Yep.
I plan on doing that in Pueblo, me and my daughter.
Yeah.
So,
My car outreach kit actually has chalk just for that reason. It helps, it helps.
So the motion is,
Where's
Hasn't
the
been
motion?
one.
Huh?
Hasn't been one.
I know, I'm trying to move this along. The motion is, there is no motion, we're just gonna do it? No cost?
Well, we could create a Facebook event, say, hey, who wants to get together and support Gary Johnson, make some signs, go hang out on an overpass.
A specific, more specific overpass.
Brown bag of
Actually,
booze, and it's all
that's a
good.
great idea. Let's get more people involved than just us.
Problem with it, but then we don't need a motion.
So we're gonna go with the bed sheet route?
Well, that way if it gets confiscated, we have to lose $80.
It's true.
Yeah,
You can get actually some unbleached cotton very cheaply from somewhere like Joann's or Hobby Lobby or whatever. You've got a 40% off coupon, which I usually do. And then some fabric prints and things, and you can actually do a fairly decent looking banner pretty cheaply because you can buy the fabric by the yard.
so we're still in the grassroots
Grassroots.
signage. Dave?
What about large poster board with single letters? That way we can kind of put them together.
That would require a lot of volunteers.
That's still the grassroots.
Yeah, I just don't know how many
Grassroots.
volunteers, I guess it kind of depends on how many volunteers we get that are willing to do this. I
Do
mean,
you want to orchestrate this whole thing?
Yeah.
Is there a motion to purchase anything or something the board has to do?
not yet.
So it all
Not
lays
yet.
And I think discretionary fund will cover it if we go grassroots.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as nothing else comes out.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Email it.
Yeah, we could do an email vote on that. So I think it's something we should set up kind of soon and probably do multiple of them if this one works out well.
The Ron Paul group did it for quite a while, and I don't know if it was successful or not, but.
So no motion.
No motion.
All right. What?
The only thing I'd say. The only thing I would say.
Is there a motion?
No, there's no motion, but I just want to make it clear that the bed sheets have to, like, after Gary Johnson, say Libertarian on it.
Okay, no motion.
That's a lot more volunteers.
This is good. This requires a 2/3 vote. I'm requesting a motion to add an item to the agenda. That item is going to be purchasing emails. I forgot this completely until
Oh, yeah.
20 minutes ago.
Emails.
Adding purchasing emails. So that the board of purchase emails. So that requires a 2/3 vote, but I need a second.
Second.
You got a second? Is there any discussion on adding the agenda? Has that been a
What's the
discussion
motion?
item?
To add an
Yeah,
item to the agenda, to amend the agenda
To
to
amend the
add.
motion is to amend the agenda for one item.
There's 6 minutes
Technically,
left.
it is, yeah, I mean, that's the only point of discussion. There's 6 minutes left, but if we go past.
All right, so any objection to the motion? Great, passes with 2/3 vote. The added item was to purchase emails from a contact. I don't remember the contact off the top of my head. It's not really important. But we send them our complete SOS list, which is 30,000, or we could send them the whole nation builder, which is around 50,000 people. They take names and addresses and they compare them to some huge database that they have. They charge us per email address that they find. So they don't charge us for the 50,000, they charge us per email. When they find an email, they attach it to that record so we know which one it goes back onto. And it's 15 cents per email. It's 15 cents.
I don't recall.
16, I thought, in your report.
Well, yeah, it's in my report.
So what's the advantage?
We have a lot more emails.
Yeah, the Secretary of State has no email.
Well, they do, but they're not giving it to us.
They don't pass it on to us. I'm gonna look up the,
So while he's looking that up, we did this before, with Archimedes, we paid him $1,000 and they went through and matched up all kinds of information. Incomes, everything, it was amazing. And, we never got around to using it, but it was really
We'll
impressive.
filter the list that we give them, so we aren't giving them,
we will,
we already have.
yeah,
email
we already have
addresses
email
for.
addresses for them and they're valid, they haven't bounced. Then we'll send them anything that we know is a valid email address, we'll reverse that. We won't send them anything that's valid, we'll send them everything else. It's 15 cents per return email. If we only send a 30,000 and we get the 30% return rate that they say, that's their high end, it's $13.50, $1,350.
So are they running names or email addresses?
We're running names to get email addresses.
Tracking.
And we don't know if they're good, but they're a good percentage of them.
They should be pretty good. Now, whether or not they match up to the exact person, that's a different story, but they should be valid email addresses. If we get a bad bounce rate from them, I'll go back to them and tell them they give us bad email addresses.
What if we use it for a fundraiser, those emails that we get?
Well, we could, I mean, we
You
could
get to get
for
the
a lot
email
of.
first.
I know.
They immediately go into our newsletter email, so they immediately start getting email blasts.
Okay, which includes fundraisers. Okay.
Yes.
And with districts, people in the district also come to the candidates?
So if you're part of the Nation Builder group where you're on the group,
$10.
it's $10 for your campaigns, $15 a month for affiliates.
Okay. I didn't know
Then
that.
yes, you would get it. You'd be part of it.
Why didn't you know about that, Richard?
I
He
don't
emailed
know.
everybody.
I don't know.
I think that was back when Jack was, when it was.
So the motion is to purchase, is to send their lists to this company. The Stephen Forster's our contact, but it's.
Second.
Thank you. 15 cents a piece. $13.50 is the total. If you haven't earned on the thing, so let's say $1,400 for kids.
And that's a max. That will-
$1,300 max. We'll tell them max $1,400.
And all these emails are just gonna go into like a junk email folder when they get them.
We have no control over that.
Yeah, that's.
That's why that would be my only message.
See, maybe a first email to all those is an opt-in.
Mm.
No, send it.
Just start sending it to them.
All right, take it off that.
We purchased it, so whatever. Okay, so we got a second discussion.
That's an awful lot of money. Do we have that?
Yeah.
Do we have it, John?
Is that how we want to spend it?
Yeah.
Is that how we want to?
So we have spent money on outreach events. We've spent money on campaign-related sort of materials.
And Nation Builder.
Johnson and Nation Builder. This is a way to help our database. I mean, we've got to look at all of these different plates that we have to spin as an organization and as and we're a business.
And we've got to look at all different avenues as to help our business grow. And I think that this is a way that we could expand our database by 30% with emails. Is that the estimation? So 30% of more emails? Yeah. I mean, that to me, I think is worth the investment that we don't necessarily get that out of outreach booths right now. I mean, that would be much larger than, say, 2 or 3 outreach booths that we've done that we just didn't get those kinds of results, those kinds of email addresses. Absolutely.
Mike.
So again, we did this with the Archimedes project. They gave us tons of information, more than just emails, and it was $1,000 for all our data. I don't know how much we had at that time. So I don't know if we want to look and see if the Archimedes guys would make us a better offer.
Can you ask them? We have about 30,000 contacts that we would send to them. I mean, what
The
they're
problem
reaching.
is, I have no idea. I know the name. Travis Nix set it up. It was through Big L, which is a complete financial disaster for us. So, I don't know. I mean, we have this, so we could go with something that we have.
Guys, if we have that much, if we have the ability to get exposed to that many people, and we use that to ask for funds, we could pay for this thing very easily just by all the exposure that we're gonna get.
Yeah, 10,000
We just have to turn,
people.
yeah, we just have to turn it into a fundraising event as well.
Or
We
not,
do it.
and not to mention
The benefit of, let's say we get 40 volunteers from it, 50 volunteers from it through these emails. Think about that workload that each of us has less to do, that we can do that much more through ourselves and through people that are under us. I mean, the potential, even if they can't donate, is huge.
This to me seems to be, it's parallel to selling t-shirts at the outreach booths. If we do it, we can pay for the expense of the event. And I see no reason not to do it, so.
Before I take your comment, is there anybody here who's going to object to the motion? So we're just talking about agreeing to agree with each other. Great. Is there any objections to the motion? The motion. Oh my gosh, I keep saying motion. The motion.
It's just,
All right, so the motion passes. Is it going to add to the discussion?
I wanted to know if we have a limit on the number of emails we can send out each month. And whether or not this will,
We do, but we're nowhere near.
okay. What is that limit?
11,000.
11,000. Okay.
we hope to max that.
If we max it out, that's a terrible problem. Okay. Nothing else on the agenda, so a
Move to adjourn.
move to adjourn. Second. Who seconded?
I did, because I can't.
Any objection to the
anybody against adjournment?
adjournment? That's the word I was looking for. Great. We're done.